So traders, let's get ready for the week. I've got something really interesting to share with you that I think is going to, I think you're going to really like it. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's actually go across all the markets today. And I've got something really interesting that I really want to share with you when it comes to your trading. So before I actually do start, guys, just to let you guys know, I'm actually doing something for the first 20 people only, and that is I'm giving away a free complete sort of master trader bundle. I'm giving away a free training. You're going to learn my trading system plus the 3 secrets to like become like a really good trader, like every trader must know. I'm also giving away a free course as well too for $495. You're getting that for free. And also you get a free coaching call. It literally is for free, right? There's no credit cards, nothing like that. If you go to johnsfreetrain.com, put your email address in and you can be able to get access to all of that through there. So, but for the very first 20 people only, guys, you got to get all this. Again, there's no credit card required and it is for free. So just go there, guys. I promise you're going to love it. So the whole thing that I'm looking at right now, let's actually start off with the stock market. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so the whole thing that I'm watching right now on the stock market is that we are definitely rolling over through here. Okay, now if I bring up, I'm going to bring up this chart here. Firstly, and the reason why I wanted to bring up this chart is a few reasons. One, you can see we're actually right at that level of resistance, so that it actually hit its head on there, and then we actually started to back off through this sort of resistance level through here. So what's happening right now is that we've had a very sort of nice stair-stepping movement. And how I get a gauge on whether a move is likely to be coming to an end or not is I use a simple short-term moving average. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a candlestick chart again just for a minute, just to share with you what I'm saying here. So how I use this as a gauge, right? You will notice that not all the time, right? It's not exact science, but if I'm looking, like this is actually a trading technique, right? And this is one thing I wanted to share with you. If I'm actually looking at the markets, I'm like, okay, then the market's moving in this direction. When is the market likely to be ending this move, right? So if we are going down for a while, right? We're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, right? So if we are doing that, when is this here likely to be coming to an end? So if I bring up, I don't have a purple here, but let's just bring up a margarita here, okay? Actually, that is purple, John. Happy Monday, traders. So if we're doing that and we're doing this, when is this downward move likely to be coming to an end, right? And then we start to do something, when the market starts to go sideways, right? Or might go through a pullback. Or if the market's going up like this, and then we do something like that, when is this pullback? When is a really good sign? What can we use on the chart to help us understand when is something likely to be coming to an end, right? Or when is this overall move coming to an end? Now, it doesn't mean the trend is coming to an end. It just means the move. Because what is that, right? Look at this here. So if we have a look at this here for a minute, let's go back to blue. If we have an up, and then we start to get a pullback, and then we go for another leg again, what I'm talking about is if we're looking at this whole leg through from there to there, what sort of signal can it tell us that this move is possibly coming to an end, right? And then we go through a pullback, the move there, and then we go through a pullback, and then we go for another move again, right? And then the move starts again. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like a complete, I'm talking about like what we call the movement phases. And what I use a short-term moving average. And look at this here. So if this is what's called a 9, this is just a 9 simple moving average. Now again, it's not exact science. Sometimes when you get really volatile periods, it doesn't give you exact through there, right? But a lot of the times when the market does this, it'll come down like that, and then something what will happen is you'll start to get some closes above it, and then it will start to, it's like now we're starting to go through a pullback phase and so on and so forth. Same for the upside. It'll do something like this, right? And then we'll probably start to do something like this, and we'll start to close below, and then we'll start to go through a pullback. And again, it's not exact science all the time, but it gives me a rough gauge or rough guide. So if we look back here, you can see how it came down, and as soon as we got this close bar, as soon as we got this close above, guess what? We actually went through the sideways phase through there, right? Down, right around it, and you can see it. We got a little bit of close through there, but then when we got the close through there, that's when it came to an end. And then that's when that came to an end, right? Then now this upward leg, you can see we've been going up all the time. Look at this here. We had a really strong close below it through there. So again, it's not exact science, it's not like an exact rule all the time. But and what I mean by that is that sometimes you will get these like bar closes above there, a bit of a fake out, and it doesn't actually do that, right? But an overall basis, if we're trying to see when is this overall leg trying to be coming to an end, or when is this downward leg coming to an end before we go through some sort of a pullback as a trader, then you can see what I'm looking at through there, right? You can see how you can see it actually stayed above this moving average quite nicely until just recently, of what's going on through there. So that's the first thing I do say. Also, the short term, this 9 moving average that I use, we use it in 2 conjunctions, okay? I like to use it in 2 conjunctions. Firstly, if the market's going like that, up, right? It's like a very steep, it's very, what's called a strong movement, okay? So a strong movement. And generally speaking, what happens with that, you will have the market doing something like this, right? It'll come up like that, right? But then what tends to happen sometimes is the market will then go up, and we go from like very strong up to then starts to flatten out a little bit. What does that mean? Remember, this is like a momentum indicator. That means what? If the market's going up, and we've got this very sort of strong, think about this as a wave, right? The wave's going, it's going, and then it flattens out. If you're a surfer, or it comes to an end, right? Where do you want to get on the wave? Do you want to get on the wave when it's just starting and we can ride it? Or do you want to get in when it's coming to an end and it's going to flatten out a bit? You probably want to start at the start, right? You don't want to get on the end there. So that's what happens. And then a lot of the times it'll start to flatten out, and then it'll start to get a bit of a pullback, right? This is actually showing you here. And as you can see, it's not exact. Again, we're not talking the exact science through here. But if I use just the blue move, I'll use that moving average. If I can see it's going up, and now look what's happening. Notice how we're doing this, see? Notice how we're starting to see that angle through that, starting to sort of flatten out a little bit through there. That's telling us that this move is possibly coming to an end. So that's what I'm looking at there when it comes to the stock market. And so therefore, what that simply means is that now we're obviously due for the pullback, right? We're probably going to get a bit of a pullback. Now, what happens? I'm not calling for a move down through to here. That may happen. I don't know. But we need to really be careful here, because this could turn into a very big bull market. What happens after the pullback? Now, this week's probably going to be the pullback phase. But what happens after the pullback phase? Because when the pullback phase is finished, right, do we continue to go down like this through here? And if so, well then this is not the start of the big bull market. Or do we start to hold here and then maybe start to have a big move up from there, right? Because then this is now creating what? This is now creating a big significant higher low here. So that's what I'm watching out for. Firstly, all I'm calling for is just a drop in the market, right? A bit of a pullback. And then overall, if we go back to just the normal candlestick chart now, overall, the question mark on my mind, if I squeeze my charts up a lot more, the question mark on my mind is this. What is this? Because last time we got something really similar where we had a very strong move up, then we had a very strong move down. We've got a very strong move up. Are we about to get the exact same thing? Move over now through to gold and silver. Gold also as well too, right? So we need to be alert about what's happening. Gold and silver did get the pullback that I was looking for. And we still have a lot of strong momentum on the downside. So the momentum on the downside is where gold is, and so we're probably going to see some more downside to come from there from when it comes to the silver market. The big key I'm looking out for, right? The big key I'm looking out for is that if for some reason the market doesn't continue down and we start to hold here, right? We start to do something like this, start to do that, and then we start to do something like that, and then we start to do something like that. Guess what? The buyers are coming back in, and then the momentum on the downside is going to slow. It's going to come to an end, and then we're probably going to start to see a lot more upside. Now that's an if scenario. I'm not saying that's happening right now. As I speak right now, the market is down, the trend is down, the momentum is down, so down has it, right? But if for some reason over the next, say, week or two, we start to get something like this happening on gold, then you'll know there's starting to be a bit of a trend change happening with gold, okay? And that's what I'm watching out for to see what happens there. But for now, guess what? The trend is down when it comes to that there. Same for the GDX as well too. So looking at the GDX having a very big strong move down. I wouldn't be too surprised. Now looking at the GDX here, let's go look at the weekly charts. Let's actually bring up. So we had that level through there. We do have, yeah, we still got that major level through there, don't we? So we're very overextended on this weekly chart. So I don't expect too much more movement on the downside when it comes to the GDX. Like if we do get a bit of a, if we do get a bit of a flush down from here, it may be very short-lived. Like it may be like a bit of a false breakout type thing. Like we may get something like that, and then it may pop back up through there, and then maybe it's going to continue down. But if it does start to continue down for me, I don't see this thing continuing down too much because it's already done a very big move. We need a lot more resting. We need a lot more time we need a lot more of this, right, before we start to see another movement on the downside through there. So that's just what I'm seeing through there from when it comes to that. And the same for the good old Bitcoin, right? The interesting thing about the good old Bitcoin that I really want to share with you is is what we've been talking about for quite some time, right? And this is so you've learned today about the art of using a short-term moving average and how, okay, well, if this is moving, when is it likely coming to an end? So you can use that in a gauge of like maybe let your profits run, right? Because if the market's going up like this, right? And then you have the short-term moving average coming through there, well then you know you can get in here and then guess what? And you can start to get out through there, right? So but that's that one through there, right? But the big thing we always look out for is looking at the weekly charts as well, right? Looking at the weekly charts. And if we're trading the daily charts, we need to look at the weekly charts and say, okay, where is the weekly trend on it? Because the weekly trend is the big trend. Because a lot of the times, just like Bitcoin back here, right? We had this movement down and we could see we had this movement down through here and then we had this movement up through here. Right, so you can see when the market had a big drop through here, all it was doing is creating a high and a lower high. So in this period through here, which was a good couple of months of just not doing much, a lot of people may be thinking, oh well, it's finding support, it's probably going to go back up again, and then down, and then now we're doing the exact same thing, and now we're going down again, right? So looking at the daily charts on Bitcoin, we did definitely have that very strong breakout. From there, let's have a look through here. Yeah, you can see it had that very, very strong breakout. From there, we are looking at this level through here. There's probably going to be a strong area of resistance around that level through there. So if we did get a bit of a rally, let's go down to the 4-hour chart here from it. Yeah, so we've completely changed the tune. So I wouldn't be too surprised now to looking at this Bitcoin chart here. I wouldn't be too surprised now to see, again, we definitely broke out of that, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. That's not the big key that I'm watching for. If I am watching sort of anything, it's probably going to be that was the level through there, as you can see. That was that level through there before we actually started to come down through there. We do have this level through here as well too. So we had that sort of, yeah, maybe that level through there. Maybe it's at that level through there now. So looking at that level through there, you can see, and that's that 21,000 level through there. That there, or maybe just slightly above it. Maybe it's something. Yeah, it's probably a few levels, and there's probably one just above it as well too. So that whole sort of 21 to 22,000 level is definitely strong with Bitcoin. But you can see how we've changed the tune of Bitcoin now. What I mean by that is that in an upward trend, we have these higher lows. But if the market breaks a low, then we're no longer in an upward trend, right? You can see here what happened with Bitcoin on this 4-hour chart. We can see here, and you can use this analysis, right? Up, down, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. And then guess what? Now we came back down. and now we're ripping back up. There's a real high probability we may even rally back up towards this level through here, but we changed the tune now. The tune has changed, and then now we actually drop back down, right? So if the market's making higher lows, guess what? The buyer's in control. But if the market breaks a low, then now we're probably going to get something like this. And that's exactly what happened with, if we have a look at the stock market, all right? Look at the futures market, right? If I show you this here, if we show this on an hourly chart, I did this for my private clients as well too. I showed this with my private clients, but I have a private Facebook group for my private clients. If you're interested in becoming a client, just email me and we can actually talk about that. But what we have here, right? We have a low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, and we have a higher low, right? Remember I said before about when the low is broken. When the low is broken, this is a low now, but the tune has changed, right? And then guess what? Now we've got a lower high, and then the market ripped it down. And this is exactly what happened with gold as well too, right? Look at gold, and then also I'll go with the gold analogy through there, right? You can see here from looking at the gold market, and this is what alerted me to also the change in gold as well too, which gave me the confidence. And again, it's just simple analysis that I'm using right now, right? We have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, broke low, sort of just an equal low, broke a low. Then we started to get, look at this here, lower low, and then we started getting these lower highs, and then now we've actually started going from an overall upward trend to now we're getting an overall downward trend from there. And if I bring on my 52 moving average, which gives me, it's more like a trend indicator. You can see what I'm looking at here. This is the 52 moving average using on the hourly chart on gold. And you can see when it's above it, when it's very strong. But remember I said, if you've been watching me now for a few weeks, you know what I talk about when it comes to the strong 52. If the market is retracing against a strong 52, more times than not, you're going to get that. That's the reason why that's actually happened. If we go back to the daily chart, using the 52, that's the reason why this happened here, right? You got to pull back. I'm moving up, but the strong moving average is coming down, and it just knocked it back down again, right? So that's the reason why. And you can see this what's happened here on the hourly chart a few times through here. Look at this here. So right, we have this starter point, but then we have rejection. Why did that reject it? Because of strong moving average. Look at this here. Ran right up to it, actually rejected it again, and then knocked it back down. It is so powerful that when a market is going for, if the market comes down like this, right, and then it starts to pull back like this, right, and let's just say we had another bar like that, right, and then we had a 52 moving average coming like that, and then what happens is we actually start to reject off that level. It's very powerful to see a continuation move on the downside. With the way that I personally trade, guys, I use them, and that's the reason why I use what I just taught there, but in conjunction of looking at a simple price pattern. Again, that very first link in the description, guys, when you click on that, you're going to get instant access to a free training, and that free training is going to, you'll be able to see the price pattern I use with the 52 in the link in the description there. So I hope this helps you out today, guys, and it's going to be an amazing week.